Let's talk insulation. It's a massive topic in van conversions, and every man and his dog has a different opinion on what you should be doing with your van. What you need to know to make the best decision for your van. There are three popular options widely used for insulation in vans. You can choose any of these three and sleep easy knowing that you've insulated your van properly, because thermally speaking, they all get the job done. Where the difference lies is in price, ease of installation, and sustainability. First, you have XPS, extruded polystyrene in rigid boards. Don't confuse XPS with standard polystyrene that comes in the box with a new TV. XPS is recognizable because the foam is made up of much smaller bubbles than standard polystyrene, and it's denser. XPS is quite cheap and available at Bunnings. However, because it's a rigid foam, it is a little bit more time consuming to make it adhere properly to the bends and curves of a van. It's mostly used in larger vans which have straighter surfaces to work with, or are worth the little extra hassle of installation because you'll likely be spending a lot more time inside the van. The second option is natural sheep's wool. Now, the old Bunnings fiberglass wool battens, or rock wool, get used by plenty of DIYers because it's cheap as hell and it's what you use insulating a house. But it gets absolutely slammed online because people don't like the idea of fiberglass fibers in their van. And personally, neither do I. The better option is natural sheep's wool. Its thermal qualities are just slightly behind its synthetic foam rivals, but it still certainly holds its own. And it's by far the best option as far as sustainability is concerned. The idea with natural wool is that it helps combat any issues with condensation because its natural fibers are able to breathe with the van, absorbing any moisture that builds up overnight and releasing it via evaporation during the day. It's also a relatively straightforward install and costs $150 to do a van with Havelock wool here in Australia. Rounding out the top three products is a flexible closed cell foam with an adhesive backing. This is the black foam you'll see often lining every square centimeter of van walls in conversion videos. From what I've seen, and certainly in Europe, closed cell foam is the most popular option for insulation, even though it's the most expensive of these three. I used two $140 boxes to completely insulate my van because even though you could possibly cover a whole van with one box, the foam is only 10 millimeters thick, and the three options we're comparing have similar effectiveness based on them all being the same thickness, meaning one layer of this thinner 10 millimeter flexible foam will perform less than half as well as an XPS board which is 25 millimeters thick. But the price tag does come with some benefits. Because of its self-adhesive backing and flexibility, it makes for a very easy install, and because it's physically stuck to the surface of almost all external sheet metal, the closed cell foam prevents condensation from occurring by creating a physical barrier between most of the cold exterior walls and the moisture-filled air inside the van. The best insulation for your van conversion depends on personal preferences and needs. Remember, XPS, natural sheep's wool, and closed cell foam are all thermally effective. The difference lies in price, ease of installation, and sustainability. Personally, I went with closed cell foam for its ease of installation and its characteristics fighting condensation, but if you were to do a larger van or prioritize sustainability, you would consider XPS or natural sheep's wool. The moral of the story is you can't go wrong with any of these three options, so just choose what feels right for you and get started.